So let's talk about something that messes people up every single day in this manifestation and spiritual space. And you know from one of my previous videos that you are not the separate self, or you are not the ego, just another name for separate self. You don't need to fix or become anything, and you are awareness, or I am, or consciousness, or God itself. And you felt it. You really did. But then an old thought comes up. Maybe a memory hits you, as it does. A wave of what if it never happens comes through, and you find yourself reacting to a circumstance, a 3D circumstance in your life. Or suddenly you feel sad, anxious, or scared again, and you don't know why. And now your mind trying to make sense of all of it screams, well, see, you're not in your I amness, you're not in awareness, you ruined it, you're not in the state anymore, you're never going to get what you want. Now you have to start over, get back in the same rut, right? Does that sound familiar to you? Because it should, right? Because this is the next layer of the mistaken identity trap. And we go through this, all go through this here and there. And you think the problem is the thought. You think the problem is the emotions that you're experiencing. You think the problem is the fact that you reacted. Oh, you reacted. No, it's not. The problem is that the moment a thought or emotion arises, you grab onto it and you believe it means something about you. You believe it means I'm not doing it right. I'm not enough. I should have affirmed more. You believe it means I'm not in my I amness anymore. I'm not in awareness anymore. You believe it means, well, I have to go and fix this, or I have to get this right. In other words, you fall right back into mistaken identity, which is the separate self or the ego self. You become the person who has to fix this thought in this moment. You become the person temporarily who has to clean up the emotion. You become the person who has to get back to the right state, to my God self, to the I am, to the void, wherever that is. And that is what keeps the loop going. But you are awareness itself. You are I am. You are God. Awareness or God, I am, is not trying to get rid of thoughts. Awareness is not trying to stop emotions. Awareness is not trying to manage a state. Awareness allows all of it. Awareness is the sky. The thoughts and emotions are like the clouds. They pass, they move, they shift, and they do not alter the sky in any way. Not one bit. And here's why this matters in manifesting, right? Or manifestation. The moment you start thinking, I can have this old thought if I want my desire, I cannot feel this way, or I won't receive what I want. I reacted and now I've ruined everything. Or I must be back in lack because I felt triggered. I'm not in the state anymore because fear arose. And you're holding on to these judgments. You are back in the story of being a separate self. You are back in mistaken identity. You are back in trying to manage your inner world as a person trying to become more worthy, more deserving. more enough. And the more you fight the thoughts and emotions, the more they persist. You've seen this. Because what you resist sticks. Because the act of trying to push it all away is reinforcing the belief that it is a problem. That's why you're trying to push it away. So let's just pause for a moment. Right now. Just breathe. And bring to mind a thought that scares you or an emotion you've been trying to avoid. Maybe it's, well, what if it doesn't happen? What if they never come back? Or what if I can't keep them once they come back? What if I'm just not good enough? What if this old fear ruins my manifestation? Do you have it? Okay. Now ask, who is the one trying to stop this thought? What is aware of this emotion? Does this awareness need the thought or emotion to go away? Is awareness or I am itself disturbed by this feeling in any way? And the answer is it isn't, right? The thought arises in awareness. The emotion arises in awareness, or I am. They're the same thing. They are clouds and you are the sky. Pause and replay these questions if you want. This law of assumption community is obsessed with, I have to stay in the perfect state. I have to be affirming, I am all the time. I'm the best. I have to hold high self-concept all day. I can't react or I'll ruin it. I need to maintain a void state 24/7. I need to be like 100% doubt-free because I'm God, right? All of this is mistaken identity. All of this is trying to manage the character and micromanage it. All of this is forgetting that the real you is not touched by a passing thought. The real you is not touched by a wave of fear. The real you, which is I am or God, is not touched by an emotional trigger. And I've shared this before, but you are the ocean, and your thoughts or perceptions and emotions are waves, sometimes big, sometimes small, sometimes rough, sometimes still. But are you ever not the ocean? Do you need to control every wave to still be the ocean? Well, of course not. So the waves arise in you. They do not define you and they don't leave a mark. And the moment you stop trying to control them, the moment is the moment you rest as the ocean. And that's the moment you stop reacting to your own reaction, because the waves settle on their own, and that is the shift. And here are some examples like I see every day, right? Like someone says, well, I reacted and cried. Did I ruin it? Someone else says, well, I had this old negative thought. Like, what do I do? Someone says, well, I got scared. Does that mean I'm back in lack? And I'm stuck there. Or I felt jealous. Now what? Well, I can't stay in this I am or God state or this right state all day. And all of these are symptoms of the mistaken identity. All of them come from the belief that I am the one who must manage this perfectly. But that's not it. You are the awareness, you are the I am in which all of this arises. You do not need to stop the waves. You do not need to perfect the inner world. You do not need to maintain a flawless state. You need to stop identifying as the one trying to do that. So what happens when you rest here? Thoughts arise. They might be old, they might be great. Emotions arise. And sometimes triggers happen because your old mind names it as a trigger, but you stop identifying with them. You stop believing that they are you. You stop believing that they have power to ruin anything. And paradoxically, the more you rest here, the fewer and fewer waves arise, fewer negative thoughts, fewer emotions arise, the less grip old patterns have, the more naturally your desires unfold, whether it's small, big, whatever, because the resistance has melted, because the one trying to manage is no longer in charge. So, the next time an old thought comes up, next time you react, the next time you feel fear or anxious or restless, don't try to stop it. Don't try to fix it. Don't spiral into guilt. And if you do, don't judge yourself for it. Wherever you are, just pause. And then ask yourself, well, who is aware of this thought? Does awareness need this to go away? Is there any part of awareness that is afraid? What happens if I let this thought be here without becoming it? Just be present with it, watch it. Let it move. And you'll see it all passes. You remain. Nothing was lost. Not one thing. It reminds me of a client who was obsessed with not reacting. And we've all been there, okay? Because we hear information and we're like, okay, I have to not react. And she thought if she got triggered, she'd ruin her manifestation from coming into her world. She was terrified of fear itself. She was trying to stay in perfect alignment all day. When we worked together somatically, and she discovered that reacting wasn't the problem. Reacting to the reaction was, and even that isn't a problem if you catch it, right? So she sat with, like, who is the one trying to stop the fear? And is awareness itself afraid, along with the somatic inquiry? And that shifted a lot of things for her. And now she lives her life, not just survives, where thoughts arise. She doesn't get caught up in them. Emotions pass by. Desires show up, whether it's, I don't know, like going to the park or meeting a certain person. And manifestation is obviously now easier than before because the resistance has fallen. And I know some of you are like, or maybe it's you, yeah, probably you are asking, well, what if I'm still thinking old thoughts? What if my mind still pulls me into doubt? Well, doesn't that, mess up my manifestation from showing up? Well, no, it does not. And this is where you might be trapped in this space, and a lot of people stay trapped because you think you must maintain these perfectly aligned thoughts to manifest. You think you must control the mind to stay in the right state. Once again. And you think any moment of doubt, well, it messes up the whole process. Again, that's once again mistaken identity creeping back in. You are not your thoughts. You are not the mind trying to control the thoughts. Those are just forms coming up from you. You are the field, the awareness in which these thoughts appear. They're made of you, they appear in you, and they're known by you. And when you see this clearly, you stop fearing your thoughts. You stop trying to clean them all day. You stop trying to affirm over them. You stop checking whether you're thinking manifestation-friendly thoughts or not. And here's an example. Have you ever, tried to think positive about your desire, like a 180 about your desire, and it felt fake, forced, like you were trying to override a deeper tension, like you were trying to convince yourself of the opposite, like a 180-degree opposite outcome. That's because when you think you're fixing your thoughts, you are once again reinforcing the belief, I'm a separate self whose thoughts create my reality, and so I must manage my thoughts perfectly. But thoughts arise within the field of awareness. They come and they go. You don't have to fight them or chase them away because you are not what comes and goes. Something remains when thoughts come and go. You are what remains. So when you rest as this awareness, as this I am, even bad thoughts can appear and they no longer derail you because you're no longer the one who identifies with them. And this is how you manifest even when your mind is messy. And this is why just being I am, just being your true nature, yourself, just being is enough, because being is what is manifesting, not the perfect management of thoughts. And I know you've heard this before, these examples where like you think of a friend and they text you, even though you had some negative thoughts that day. You want a new job and you land the interview, like even though you had moments of doubt. You want to feel love or loved from someone, and someone compliments you, even though your self-concept wasn't perfect that week. It's not about thought control. It's about not identifying as the one who needs to control thought. And that is what drops resistance. So, thoughts can arise, but they no longer hook you into the game of lack. So if let's say you imagine life as a door, and you are the space through which the door can open. But the more you stand there holding the door open with your hands, straining, forcing, worrying about whether it will stay open, the more resistance you create. But when you realize that I am the space, not the one who has to hold the door open, that's when letting go happens as a consequence. The door swings freely, life moves effortlessly in your favor. Whether it's for something small, something big, something insignificant, and that is what your being does. That's why like trying to manage your state is like clutching the door and letting being lead, which is awareness, our I am, is like allowing the door to swing open on its own. So Every time you think, well, I need to manage my mind, I need to hold the state, I need to become this version, you are playing as the mistaken identity. We all play this game. We have to catch ourselves. No one is above this game. But when you rest as awareness, you don't need to perfect thought. You don't need to control states. You don't need to become something else. Manifestation happens because being is expressing through you effortlessly. And notice how being has been expressing through you all this while, effortlessly. And the more you rest here, the more life aligns with the natural flow of that awareness, of that I amness. That's why you're not creating a new version of you. You are unveiling what's already here. You are not manifesting from the checklist. You are manifesting from the truth of what you already are, which is I am, or awareness. There's no gap at all, no trying, no management. Just this, just being. And that is enough. So here's your invitation. Stop trying to manage yourself. Stop trying to perfect your state. Stop trying to eliminate old thoughts. Stop trying to control your emotions, the sensations. These are waves. And you are the goddamn ocean. These are all what I named are clouds, and you are the sky. Let them rise, move, but you remain. Let's rest here, live from here, and manifestation naturally unfolds from here. And that is the real shift. That's the deal. And yes, if old thoughts come up, that's okay. If old emotions arise, it's okay. If you react, it's okay. None of it means that you failed. None of it means that you lost your manifestation. None of it means that you're not doing it right. It only means one thing. That you can return to resting in awareness, your I amness at any moment. Because awareness, I am, is never lost. You are never not awareness. You are never not I am. The waves do not alter the ocean. The clouds do not alter the sky. Let's remember that, live from that, and watch how life unfolds from there. And that is freedom. That's power. That's the truth of who you truly are. And if you want to explore any of my mini experiences, they're in the link below. And if you want like an unshakable knowing in your bones of who you truly are, experientially, then you can sign up for my coaching also in the description box below. And either way, I would love for you to share your insights in the comments, and I'll see you there. I so appreciate you.